Have you ever noticed that the more you talk about your goals, the less likely they seem to actually happen? It's strange, right? We get excited, we share our dreams with friends, with family, maybe even on social media. And for a moment it feels good, feels real. But then weeks pass, months pass, and the goal somehow slips further and further away. Why? Why does speaking about our dreams sometimes kill the very energy we need to make them real? Let me take you into a story. A few years ago, a psychology professor gave a group of students a challenge. They were asked to write down a personal goal, something deeply important to them. Half the students were told to keep it secret. The other half were asked to stand up, say it out loud, and declare it proudly to the room. Here's what happened. The ones who announced their goal felt amazing in the moment. They felt like they had already taken a big step forward. But when the professor tracked their progress over the next few weeks, something strange appeared. The ones who kept silent worked harder. They stayed more focused, and they were far more likely to actually achieve what they had written down. Meanwhile, the ones who declared it to the room, most of them barely made progress. It was as if, by speaking their dream, they had tricked their own brain into thinking it was already accomplished. Strange, right? But it doesn't stop there. Think about this. How many times have you told someone, "I'm going to start eating healthy," and then by the end of the week you're eating junk again? Or, "I'm going to start a business," and suddenly you find yourself doing anything except the work that actually matters. Or, "I'm going to run a marathon," and yet your running shoes collect dust in the corner. We laugh it off. We say life got in the way. But what if something much deeper is happening? Now let me take you into another story. Centuries ago, spiritual traditions, from the Hermetic teachings in Egypt to the wisdom of the East, warned about the power of silence. They believed that speaking too soon about a vision was like exposing a fragile seed to the storm, that the seed needed time underground, protected, nourished, hidden, before it could break through into the light. Science now suggests they may have been right, because when you declare a goal too early, your brain releases a small dose of dopamine, the very same chemical that makes you feel rewarded when you actually achieve something. In other words, the brain mistakes talking for doing, and your motivation vanishes. So here's the paradox. The very thing that feels empowering, telling the world about your dreams, is often the very thing that weakens the drive to make them real. But here's where it gets interesting. What if you could use silence not as emptiness, but as fuel? What if holding your vision quietly inside of you actually made it stronger? We're only scratching the surface. Stay with me, because in a few minutes, I'm going to share with you a principle that completely changes how you think about your goals, and why silence is the fastest accelerator you've never been told about. But before we go there, let me show you something else. Take the story of Thomas Edison. When he was working on the electric light, he didn't run around declaring to everyone what he was building. He worked quietly, endlessly, failing over 1,000 times in private. And only when the bulb lit up did the world know. Or think about the early days of Apple. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were building computers in a garage, in near total obscurity. There was no fanfare, no public declarations, just silent, obsessive work. And when they finally revealed what they had been working on, the world was changed. Notice the pattern. The greatest creations are often nurtured in silence first. And now we come back to you. Maybe you have a goal, a dream you've been carrying, a vision you can't quite shake. And maybe part of you has already been tempted to announce it. to post about it, to share it before it's ready. I want you to pause and remember this. Every word you speak about it is energy spent, energy that could have gone into the work itself. So what's the solution? Keep it quiet. Let the silence build pressure. Let the vision burn inside of you until the only way out is action. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Because silence isn't just about psychology. It's about energy. What you don't say grows power. What you hold close intensifies. And third, build a circle of silence. Every person you share your goals with is a mirror. If the mirror reflects doubt, you'll see doubt. If the mirror reflects belief, you'll feel belief. So choose your mirrors carefully. Don't broadcast your vision to the whole world. Instead, select 2 or 3 trusted people. The ones who challenge you, the ones who want to see you win, and share only with them. Everyone else, let them see the finished product, not the work in progress. By the way, this reminds me of something I came across recently. It's not mainstream. You won't see it on big bookstore shelves. It's more like something you stumble on when you're ready for it. It's a book called The Quantum Bridge, a field guide to the 7 keys of reality creation. And honestly, it doesn't read like a book. Feels more like a quiet conversation. The kind of thing a friend would hand you and say, "Here, I think you're ready for this." What struck me is how it balances 2 worlds. On one hand, the logic of science. On the other, the mystery of spirit. And instead of choosing sides, it builds a bridge between them. Inside, it shows how quantum physics echoes truths mystics have whispered for centuries. How your attention and emotions don't just color reality, but actually shape it. And here's the part most people never hear about. When you get the book, you also receive these private quantum journal templates. A companion tool to track your alignment, log synchronicities, and embody the 7 keys in your daily life. It's practical, subtle, and it's powerful if you actually work it. I'll leave a link in the description and in the comments. If you feel the pull, follow it. Not everyone's meant to cross that bridge. But if you are, you'll know. Now, back to the power of silence. Because there's a final piece to this puzzle. And it comes from someone who understood this better than almost anyone. Muhammad Ali. Ali was famous for his bold declarations. "I am the greatest." But what most people don't realize is that he only spoke that way after his victories. In private, in the training gym, he was silent, focused. He kept the grind hidden. Only when he had already become the greatest did the world hear about it. This is the real secret. Silence is not about hiding. It's about building. It's about letting your energy, your focus, your work accumulate until finally there's so much momentum the world can't ignore you. So if you have a dream right now, protect it, guard it, feed it with action, not words. Let the silence sharpen it like a blade. And when the time comes, when the work is undeniable, let the results speak for you. That is why you should never talk about your goals until they happen. And if this resonated with you, if something inside of you feels the truth of this, make sure you subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. There are more secrets about the mind, reality, and creation itself waiting for you.